All right, y'all, welcome back. We're thinking about getting into another trade, but we definitely aren't pulling the trigger yet. Um, on my screen, I have the futures desk account up, and we're on a 2000 tick chart, which is what I'm kind of using right now for the New York session. And we're moving back up towards the POC or the volume point of control where most of the volume has been traded. We're a little below that right now. If we look at a couple of the indicators, I got these weighted moving averages 20 and 25. We're above that. We got this red Ichimoku cloud. It's red right now, so giving us a bullish signal. So a little mixed, even though the recent price action is bearish. Obviously, we had this downswing where we had lots of selling transactions. And if we go into Bookmap right now, though, we're coming up onto a pretty solid wall of sell orders. So this is an area, if we can't break through that and I see some resistance, I wouldn't mind getting into a short to take the price lower here. But if we break above that, we're probably going to move back towards, well, this is kind of interesting. Let me, let me start this properly. On Bookmap, I need to change a setting here. I think this is starting at 1800 and I want it to start at 930. So there we go. So there's our session volume profile. We're actually kind of above a volume point of control that's actually a little bit lower here. This is interesting. But I think we have another one above. That's what's happening. So if we show more price levels, yeah, we have a big volume area at around 23,900-ish, I believe. Yeah. And if I come back into here, see, zooming out, 23,900. So we're approaching a high volume node at the bottom of the range for the time frame that's on the chart. It's going to look a little different on Bookmap. If we look here on browser, you can see for this area that I have mapped out on this 2000 tick chart, we're kind of at the bottom of the value area right now. And we've had a lot of, this is basically a point right here where I think we make a strong move back up towards those tan or gold looking VWAPs, or we continue to push down lower. So kind of at an indecision point at the moment. If we just kind of look at the Bookmap real-time order flow, you can see that buyers have been absorbing these passive sell orders and continuing to move up, absorbing these levels. Have lots of sell orders above waiting to be filled. and lots of order book volume, and just the order book in general is veering towards bullish momentum. So kind of an indecision area for me at the moment. CVD for the session since the morning open is at negative 4,000, 4,400. See anything else that I see here? Not really, but if we do move down, I'm going to pull up my trading view here in a minute. All right, so you can see that we have this pivot low and pivot high. And if we make a move back down below this pivot, I have a calculator that calculates where it can extend down to, and this is the range. So if this alert goes off, we're going to start watching and start looking at some of this DMI indicators that show us if buyers or sellers are in control, and then the momentum level of those buyers or sellers. Right now, this is on a 80 range chart, so it prints a bar every 80 ticks. And I'm experimenting with changing it to candles. So let's change the colors here. So we don't need any borders here. Wicks like to be the same color for both. And I'm not too concerned about phantom bars. So it's more of a candle chart view, but each candle that gets printed is essentially 80 ticks. And this is a New York session, so we just had 80 ticks of downward, or excuse me, downward movement. So we printed a candle. Now the current candle, it's showing that it's starting out red. It's a projection because this candle hasn't closed yet, or this range hasn't closed, expressed as a candle. But it looks like we may be moving back down. If we look at our sellers, they're taking over again. We're getting some movement back to the downside. So CVD is also increasing from 4,000 to 8,000. So this is crazy. So this is pretty heavy to the downside. Coming back to our platform that we're trading on, the futures desk. This is on the 2000 tick chart. These are 2,000 transactions. Could be any size. Looks like sellers are starting to take control. The ADX, this is more of the momentum or the speed of the control. How much momentum do they have? It's still pretty flat, but it was down sloping and now it's starting to flatten out. So we could be pushing back to the bottom. So I think this is a good opportunity to possibly get into a short here. We're below the Ichimoku cloud. We're below both um, weighted moving averages. Let's do a couple more things. We're going to anchor a VWAP to this swing low. We may miss it because we're taking so much time here. Let's anchor VWAP to the bottom of this range. We're below that as well as we're below swing high VWAPs. I think we need to update these though. So this is the last significant one. You can see that price is respecting that. So I'm pretty bearish here at the moment. We're making lower highs. We're making higher lows though. So we're also still inside the value area. So I think what I'm going to be looking for is us to break through this low. What's that? 23,770. See if we can find some confluence here. $23,770. Pull up my trading view in a second. Y'all be able to see. I think it's going to be more like 23,766. This line right here. So we basically swung, pulled back, swung down again, pulled back, and we're making lower lows, but we're making higher lows, excuse me, and lower highs. So we need to break some structure. I would actually say that we probably want to break structure. I already have, I would say this is our area to watch. We can break structure here, take a cheap short. Sellers are in control. ADX is a little low right now, so especially on this range chart. But if we go back to our trading platform, ADX is still kind of flat here. Make this bigger for a minute so y'all can see, maybe see it better. See that sellers aren't well, they are in control right now. Buyers are all the way down here as far as the columns go, and the ADX is starting to slope up, and we're below all the VWAP. This is a clear short for me. We're going in with three. There's just too much lining up right now. So, but I would like to see us break through this low before I commit. And I'd probably take it back down to, what's that, 23,735. Probably something like that. But our pivot zone is 23,713 to 23,685. So let's draw a little 23,7. It's down here. Looking at 23.7, 13-ish. What the hell? So this is our pivot zone trade. Something like that. About there. So that's fairly low. So we're going to have to move. So ADX is starting to increase. It's at 25. Sellers are in control. I don't think it would be wrong to go short here, but I want to have a little bit of confirmation. Here's what else could be happening though, right? We could be making our way back up to the top. This could be the bottom for today, but we are also almost Doritoing, right? So we can break through that Dorito and maintain sellers in control with an upward sloping ADX and stay underneath these VWAPs and moving averages. That's a lot of confluence, and we can get outside of this value area. So a lot of things are lining up here. But what we do see on the book map is aggressive buyers are stepping in right now. So we're kind of in this wedge or this zone. And I'm going to take that time to pause the video and hit the restroom. And I'll be back in a few minutes with an update. And things change real quick. You go to the restroom for a minute and yeah. So we get that breakout of that wedge and we're going to enter with 3 shorts or 3 MNQ for a short. So we get an upward sloping ADX. Sellers are in control. Momentum is above 24. We're below all the VWAPs. We just broke out of that Dorito or that wedge. And we're looking to take price back down to the next resistance area, which looks like we just basically we're at equal lows right now at this resistance level. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of a buying reaction. So we got some aggressive buyers stepping in. But I still like what we see here. Overall, I'm happy to be in this short. Now, where is our risk? That's the thing, right? You know, where do we want to put our stop? We need to give it some room. I think this trade we're going to try to take back down to the bottom of the range. We're still not breaking out of this value area, so I think I got involved just a little bit early. And I think we put the stop above this last swing, this little pullback with the VWAP and the 2 weighted moving averages, the 20 and the 25 above the cloud. And yeah, that's what we're doing. It's like we're getting a retest with some aggressive buying. As you can see, it's starting to move back up. Sellers are starting to step in. Some selling orders just got absorbed by the buyers. Prices continuing to move up. See if we can get some sellers to step in here. So while that's happening, I'm just going to journal this trade while we watch Bookmap. Looks like buyers are starting to take control on the ADX too. So not looking the best for us on this trade. Great timing, wrong direction. I'm so good at that, right? Seems like that happens quite a bit. I'm not gonna journal this yet. I'm gonna just maintain the maintain watching it. We definitely could get stopped out here. We're looking for a bounce from this VWAP and for sellers to step in. Not opposed to getting back in if we get stopped out. I will not be adding to the position. And now we're getting some aggressive sellers stepping in. Let's move back to Bookmap. Pretty crazy market today. So what can I classify this setup as? This was basically, again, a continuation of downtrend. Wouldn't call it a pullback though. I would say breakout continuation. Break of structure continuation. We call it trend continuation. So I like that. Okay, and some of the things that why we entered the trade was the first thing that we saw that sellers were in control. We were at a D minus on the DMI. I know you can't see it on the screen. I want to keep Bookmap up there. I'm just going to kind of talk through it as I write out this trade. Second thing, we were below Ichimoku Cloud. Third thing, below 20 and 25 WMA. Below VWAPs. We were at bottom of value area low. And we broke out of Dorito. That was forming lower highs and higher lows. So we'll create a new setup. Obviously you can't see this. I want to keep it on Bookmap. So it looks like there's a good battle going on right here. So I'll pull you back into the app for a moment, and you can see essentially I created a category, a trend setup, or excuse me, a trade setup. And then entered all of the reasons why I took the trade, and then I'm gonna take a screenshot and put it in there. A couple other notes I can put. Session lows and stop above swing low VWAP. Pullback high. Close it out. So we may get stopped out, but that's okay. I actually am happy with this trade. I don't know what else I can do, right?
Order field.
And it's a loser. So we're back into that range. Aggressive buyers step back in and took control. I'm not sure if I want to get back in, to be honest. That was pretty aggressive. Pretty aggressive there with the buyers. I'm not opposed to getting back in, but we can see now the buyers are in control. ADX is a little bit low. I wouldn't want to jump on board yet. We would have to break to the upside. So if we reject, I would take this trade again. We reject and can hold below this wedge, I would reject again. So happy with the trade, not with the result. So again, what I'm extremely happy with is that, let's put some notes at the end here. I'll keep it on Bookmap there. So we lost the trade. So lost money. We won because we had a plan, stuck to it, and allowed ourselves to learn how to lose without emotion or fear. So good trade. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. We lost 153.90 on the trade. If we take another trade, we'll start another video.